So let's begin this session. I apologize those who have not joined us due to it being a month end or it being a Monday. Monday generally Monday is not a good day in terms of for students and for employees. So I apologize for that, but it will be available in YouTube. They will be getting it as a recorded format. So I will not be wasting more time. We'll be welcoming all of them, those who have joined us for the first time. Okay, so let's start the class. We'll go ahead and start the class. Okay, so today we will have a short quiz session, and in quiz session my focus is generally that we will have quiz related to the topics that we have already covered in last month, and some topics that we have not yet covered. So let's begin this session. Will not waste more time. Before that, I want to say thank you to more than 1000 subscribers who have subscribed us. If you have not yet subscribed us, then do it right now and it will be motivating us. We have also launched a book on banking laws. Do check out it in the links in description. It will be helping you preparing for any bank interview or written test for that matter. So let's begin this quiz. This is quiz number 3. It's wrongly mentioned quiz number 2. It's actually quiz number 3. So let's go ahead. The first question we have with us is whose assistance is taken for taking physical possession of mortgaged property under SARFAESI Act. Okay. So you all be knowing, or those who don't know, for them, for the sake of knowledge, I am sharing that in SARFAESI you send a demand notice. Okay, this answer is B, Madhusudan. That's a great learning, and I think I'm very happy that in my last sessions those who have with me have read something that is useful for them and they are promptly answering. It's a great thing to witness. Okay, so let me tell you again that in SARFAESI you send demand notice and you give 60 days period. If within that 60 days customer don't repay the loan amount, you send a possession notice, and within 30 days of possession notice, this district magistrate, the option number B, the district magistrate will help you in acquiring that property. Okay, in auction and in taking possession of that property. So here local police authorities, district magistrate, lead bank manager, court. So the right answer is district magistrate. That's great. Even before I spell the options, our students are answering us. That's a great thing to witness. Okay, that's great. So let's go to question number 2. Consortium accounts will be classified as NPA based on. I think you will be knowing what is a consortium loan. In a consortium loan, it is a loan when a pool of bankers get together to fund a specific group of companies or a specific borrower. That is just to avoid this exposure risk. Okay, so one bank have their own risk assessments. So when one bank feels that it is not good to lend all the money to one corporate, then he can arrange some other co-lenders, those who will lend to a specific firm, and that loan is always called consortium loan. And in consortium loan, these accounts will be classified as NPA. Yes, Mallikarjun, welcome. I was waiting for all of you. You were late, so I was worried. Quiz session without our candidates is not at all entertaining. Okay, so answer the option D is the answer from Mallikarjun, and it's right. That's great again. The liability of the account, the capital of the bank, number of directors, the number of directors of the company, or the individual bank's recovery. It depends upon the individual bank's recovery. Okay, even if the loan is going well in other banks, one bank feels that one bank finds it not doing defaults, then it can go on and mark it as an NPA account. Okay, That's great. Bank loans up to what amount is eligible under PSL in subcategory of social infrastructure? I think we have just covered our PSL in last session. So let me tell you, or let me ask you, what is the maximum loan amount up to which under the subcategory of social infrastructure in PSL can be categorized as a priority sector lending loan? That's great. 5 crore. That's great. Option number C, 5 crore. I'm very happy that you all are catching it off very fast. So that again reminds me that we all are in a right track. Okay. And I'm getting very good feedback from my fellow colleagues and from those who are bankers and those who have already qualified lateral entry. They all are saying that we are going in a in a right direction. Why didn't we start it when 2-3 years back, such a session? It would have been helpful to all of us. Okay, actually these sessions are two-way sessions. When I teach you, I also learn something, because nobody is genius. You have to learn every single day, and banking is having vast subject. It has commerce with it, it has economy with it, so it has many acts to deal with. Okay, so bank guarantee will be treated as a dash liability in bank's balance sheet. Current liability, indirect liability, contingent liability, or non-current liability? I'm waiting for the answers. C, contingent liabilities. Okay. Both Mallikarjun and Madhusudan, that's great. Yes, Nagarjun, great. C, right. This answer is contingent liabilities. And what else can be treated as contingent liabilities? What else? Yes, letter of credit, deferred payment guarantee. Yes, right. That's great. It is also said as, it is also treated as off balance sheet exposure, right? Bank loans up to what amount is eligible under PSL for purpose like solar based power generations under priority sector? 15 crore, option number C. There are 4 options, 1, 10, 15, 20. Option number C, 15 crore from Madhusudan. That's great. Yes. That's the right answer. Okay, it's 15 crore. I think the last session yesterday we had a session on priority sector lending, and students are answering in a very accurate manner. That's a great feeling. Bank loans up to what amount is eligible under PSL for individual households under the same renewable energy subcategory under priority sector? It was 15 crore for any loan in renewable energy for yes, option number B. Yes, 10 lakhs. Option number A, 1 lakh. B, 10, 25, 5. B is the right answer, 10 lakh. Okay, there is a difference. For individual households, it's 10 lakhs. For other corporates or for manufacturing sectors or somewhere, if there is a need of solar power generation, if bank lends to that unit, then it will be treated as the loan amount up to 15 crore will be treated as PSL under renewable energy. Okay, who can be a partner in a partnership fund? So this is a mix quiz. Actually, I have covered some topics that we have covered in our last month, and some that we are yet to cover, so that we will have a basic idea, and through this quiz we will learn something more. Option number C, government company, Nagarjun. So who cannot be a partner in a partnership firm? Public limited, private limited, government company, and all can be partners. This government company is not right answer. I think this the options are not correct. Private limited company can also be a partner, because body corporates can become partners. Only partnership firms cannot become partners. All here can become partners. Okay, public limited company, private limited company, government company. Okay. Who can be a partner in a partnership firm? Who cannot be a partner in a partnership firm? HUF, Karta of HUF, individuals, all can be partners. Who cannot be a partner in a partnership firm? Yes, HUF. But Karta of a Hindu undivided family can become a partner. Okay? Karta of a Hindu undivided family can become a partner under his personal capacity. Okay, as a person he can become a partner, but the entity Hindu undivided family cannot become a partner, right? Who cannot be a partner in a partnership firm? We have already covered it. Okay, question number 9. RBI is empowered to regulate banks under which act? RBI Act, Banking Regulation Act, Negotiable Instrument Act, Companies Act. Can anyone tell? B, not audible. I think it's audible to all others. RBI is empowered to regulate banks under Banking Regulation Act. Okay. RBI Act talks about the powers and the purview of Reserve Bank of India. But when Banking Regulation Act was enacted in the year 1949, it was specially enacted and gave powers to Reserve Bank of India to regulate banks. Okay. Who cannot be a partner in a LLP, limited liability partnership firm? Who cannot be a partner in a limited liability partnership firm? HUF, body corporate, minors, A and C both. Right, Madhusudan, yes. A and C both, HUF and minors cannot be partners in a LLP. What is LLP? Limited liability partnership firm. What type of business is this? It is called a hybrid corporate. This is a mixture of partnership firm and a private limited company. Okay. Yes. Right. Who cannot be a partner in a LLP? I think we have covered it. Yes. The slides are twice recorded. Okay. LLPs in India are administered by Registrar of Companies, LLP Authority of India, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, and FICCI. Yes, Registrar of Companies. There is no such entity called LLP Authority. Okay, Ministry of Corporate Affairs is different than Registrar of Companies. It is a ministry. Okay, it doesn't deal with any administration part. And this MCA 21 is what? Is the portal operated by MCA. I think you will all be knowing about MCA 21. And FICCI is Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industries. Okay, this is FICCI. What is the limit of maximum number of partners in a LLP? Maximum number of partners in a LLP: 20, Nagarjan, no, 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 no. Not a right answer. 20, 200, 100, no limit. A is wrong. Can anyone tell? Or any guess? Yes, 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 yes. Mallikarjun, that's great. Madhusudan, it's again great. There is no such limit. Okay. I think you all be knowing what is the minimum maximum number of partners in a private limited company. Can anyone tell? Maximum number of partners in a private limited company, right? 200. Okay. Great. In a partnership firm, can anyone tell? In a partnership firm, what is the maximum number of partners can get together and do a business? No, 8 is nowhere. There is nothing called 8. 50, 100, 200, like that. This Companies Act 2013 says that the number of partners should be 100, but the partnership rule in which is formulated in the year 2014 says that a right association of 50 partners should be formed as a partnership firm. The act says, Companies Act says 50, 100 and the rule says 50. So normally 50 people get together and form a partnership business in India. Okay. So here is the catch. Act says 100, rule says 50, and on the basis of rule, partnership firms formed in India. Okay. The Companies Act 2013 comes into effect when there is a partnership, when there is a partnership company, but number of partners is done through the rule, through the partnership rule. So the maximum number is 50. Okay. What is the minimum number of partners required in a partnership firm? Minimum number of partners. This is a general knowledge question. I don't think it's a banking question, but there should be some googlies. Okay, it's 2. Normally 2 people can become partners. There is nothing banking involved here. Okay. In partnership, partners' liabilities are limited, unlimited, limited only to capital contributed. No such rule. Yes, unlimited. That's great. That's great. And that's why LLP is formulated in India. Okay. What is the partnership written agreement known as? I don't think options are required. Yes, partnership deed. Right. Garnishee order is issued by court, IT cell, RBI. Yes, it is. No, not IT. It is court. IT can issue attachment orders. Right? IT can issue attachment orders. Okay. Yes. Option number A is the right answer. Minimum number of shareholders in a public limited company. Minimum number of shareholders, yes, 7. Option number C, minimum number of shareholders in a public limited company, and 200, sorry, no maximum limit. Okay. In private it is 200. Public is a public limited company. Any number of people can join through equity. Okay, through share issues, any number of people can join a public limited company. Okay. A partnership firm cannot raise fund by DS, debentures, secured loans, unsecured, no, yes, debentures. Okay. A working capital finance not renewed in how many days becomes ANPA? 90 days, 180, 1 year, 2 months. 90 days is the wrong answer. Is the wrong answer. Renewal and revival not done within 180 days will make an working capital limit NPA. Okay, 180 days or out of order for 90 days. If it is a CC loan and it is out of order for 90 days, out of order, when it happens out of order, can anyone tell? When outstanding is more than the limit sanction, it is called out of order. Okay, so when it is out of order for 90 days, it becomes NPA. Okay, you got it? Bank guarantee above 50,000 needs signature of a chief manager, 2 officials, 1 officer, or there is no such rule. Can anyone tell? Can anyone tell? No, chief manager is not the right answer. Mallikarjun is right. It is 2 officials. Okay. Any bank guarantee above 50,000 needs signature of 2 officials. Chief manager comes into effect when the SARFAESI Act's demand notice, section 13/2, is sent to the customer. There should be a chief manager, at least a manager above, chief manager or above can sign. Okay, you got it? So this is the session. It being a Monday, I was not comfortable to make a class, and I got the news many are absent today for it being a month end. So I will not make this class so long. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me, or we will go ahead. The next class we will be having on RBI master circulars. Okay, for the month of August. In the month of entire August, whatever circulars or notifications released by Reserve Bank of India, we will be making the class on that. This is very important. This is the only Bible that needs to be referred by bankers, that is the RBI's master circulars. If you continuously refer RBI's master circular, then there is no need to refer anything else. So taking that into consideration, we will be focusing on RBI's master circular, and all the circulars that has been released in the month of August. We will be making slides, we will be simplifying, and the terms associated with it, we will be also discussing that. So whenever we discuss a quiz or whenever we are discussing something, we always discuss the term associated with it. That is only because when you have been questioned in an interview about something, the terms that you use in your answer can become a potential question by the next interviewer. Okay, so this is how normally interviews happen. From yesterday onwards, I was saying continuously, I was telling, it's a smart interviewee always make interviewer ask the favorite questions that he is prepared to answer for. Okay, so this is how you should prepare for interview. You should use some catchy words in your answer, so that the next question should be focused on that catchy word. Okay, you should leave some room in your answer so that they will ask question on basis of that answer only. And if you know that the next whatever they will ask you next, then you can have a prepared answer for that. Okay, so if you will say somewhere it is not necessary, but you deliberately mention letter of credit, then they will definitely ask you letter of credit. Okay, if they will ask you bank guarantee is what type of liability, if you just say sir, it's a contingent liability, then the next question may be anything. But if you say bank guarantee is a contingent liability and so is letter of credit, and deferred payment guarantee. Okay, so the next question may be about deferred payment guarantee. So that is how you have to prepare your interview schedule. Okay, so this is the catch point here. Whenever we are discussing something, let's discuss the related terms as well. Okay, so this quiz session in between our classes will make us remain focused, stay focused, and will also make us prepared for MCQ for written test in case it happens. And if it doesn't happen, then this type of questions may be asked in interviews. Someone there sitting can ask you about bank guarantees. Someone many times in lateral entries, even in interview boards, so I always get a question from this lady staffs. In every interview board, there is at least one lady sitting with the panel. Okay, and many times this lady employee does not deal with banking. Okay, for the sake of calling a lady staff, they normally call someone who is expert in soft skills. Okay, she comes prepared, and many times I notice this. She comes prepared and she asks question about recent news articles on banking, like what is the expected GDP growth in as per Moody rating agency. So what is the expected GDP growth which is released yesterday by Fitch? Okay, this type of questions normally being asked. I have witnessed it. So such MCQs will also help you. Nothing goes in vain if it is focused. So that's all. None of you have asked any other question. When will you start mock interviews? Very soon. Let us be focused on both the parts. Once this air is cleared by SBI, we will go ahead with mock interviews. What is that? When we have a clear concept of various banking related terms, then I don't think it is important. Okay, I have already told you to send me this intro, your job role, and why SBI. These three, you can send it to me. You have to make it specific, because if you think your intro is so long, then it will not make that much impact. You have to have a intro which has relevance to this post, to this interview board. Okay, so in your intro you should not tell about your extracurricular activities. That is nothing to deal with banking. But if you have some banking experience, see if you have CIIB, so you have to focus it in first intro part. If you think that they are going to give some weightage to CIIB or MBA, so you should tell, sir, I have qualified both MBA and CIIB. Okay, so prepare your intro like that. Where there is importance, you want to give emphasis, do give emphasis, and remember, within 30 seconds or 40 seconds, you have to complete your intro, because nobody has patience to listen to you for a long. Okay, so within 30 minutes, you have to prioritize what is important. You want to make them listen. Okay, so that is I want. If you can send, we don't need to have a mock interview for these three basic questions. You can prepare it repeatedly. I always prepare my intro. Even today, before appearing any interview board, I always prepare my intro first, because I am having some more certifications like JIIB, CIIB, Certified Credit Professional, MSME for bankers, rural banking operations, risk management. So on basis of the post advertised for, I have to mention somewhere. If it is about MSME, then there is no need to waste my time in saying that I have rural banking operations. There is no use of that. I have AML KYC. I don't use nowadays this AML KYC certification. Because if I have CIIB with me, if I have certified credit professional with me, then what is the use of AML KYC? Okay, unnecessarily I will not waste my time and their time saying that I have qualified AML KYC. Okay, so that's why I said try to make your intro effective. You can send it to me. I will analyze. I will post it in YouTube so that others could help us pointing out what the mistakes are. Okay, it is always wise that before final selection or any final adventure, you give chance to your opponents, you give chance to your enemies to point out your mistakes. Okay, that's the great thing. Because in interview board, if they will point out your mistakes, that will be very harmful for you. But if now everybody will say that you are wrong, you are wrong, you are wrong, and there will be dislikes, that will hardly matter to you. Okay, so I think that's enough for this session today. It being a Monday, it's being a boring Monday. I normally don't take classes on Monday, but today I did it. I'm sorry for that. Okay, so next we will meet in RBI Master Circular class. Okay, thank you. Good night all.